Softly rise in the morning time when the coffee's black. We went out last night, it was pouring rain, but we made it back. Trying all, there's no love like that. You got a hold on me. When I'm looking in your eyes at the end of the night, it's hard to see. When you let me down, but come back around, is it destiny?
Hi, I'm Linda Diaz. I am a Brooklyn-based artist from the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Hi, I'm Elijah Fox. I'm a producer, pianist, singer, and I live in Brooklyn. And you're watching Untitled.
I grew up on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and the nice thing about growing up in New York is even if you don't have a lot of money, there's a lot of free music. So my mom is an educator, not of music, and she's not a musician, but she realized that I loved music from a young age. So she would take me to the free senior recitals at Juilliard. I was in a bunch of children's choirs. And then I actually had an opportunity to sing for Fisher-Price as a kid, so I did that for a little bit. And then my mom was like, no, I don't want my kid to be a child star. So she kind of made it something that I could still pursue as a passion, but didn't want to make that career decision for me as a child. And then, I don't know, I just kept doing music through high school, never professionally, but always with a love and passion. And I went to a school with a bunch of music programs and conservatories where I met Elijah. And then I learned that I could be a performer and make a career this way. So I graduated, and I did a couple of things I didn't want to do, and then I was like, I'm going to be a musician full time.
I was born in Austin, Texas, and then I moved to Durham, North Carolina when I was 7, and I had a great childhood. Shout out to my parents. They were great. Great times. I started playing piano when I was 9. Got into writing songs when I was in middle school. That was when I was in my first band and stuff. Then I went to Berklee School of Music summer program, which got me more excited. That was in 2011. And then went to Oberlin in 2013. Graduated from there. I studied piano there, and then I moved out here to Candid Music Studio, where we are right now in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. And I've been here for a year and a half since, producing music, playing shows, teaching piano lessons, and just doing the music hustle.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think my music is really influenced by, well, I always say I'm an R&B artist. When people say, what kind of music do you make? I say R&B. But it's really poppy and it's really jazzy, and I think a lot of that has to do with Elijah and also the other artists I work with. I work with a lot of jazz musicians, and it was definitely one of my first loves in terms of the music that I grew up listening to. My grandpa listened to a lot of jazz, so I think that influences my music. But I don't know, I lead with melodies because I didn't really grow up playing instruments, and I just grew up singing, and I think that also, I don't know, I'd say that's pretty apparent in my music. I think it's becoming more popular to write songs around a melody as opposed to the other way around. So yeah, hopefully that's going to be the trend.
There's a lot of different influences, but maybe psychedelic soul or electric jazz.
I think anything sonic is music to me. When I think of birds chirping is music to me. Kids crying is music to me. Just anything that has a tone is music to me. But I think that then there's levels of intentionality. And I think my standards for my own music are definitely different. I think that there's a lot of music I listen to that I wouldn't necessarily sing. And when it comes to my own music, I think there needs to be a lot, I don't know. I think as a vocalist, and maybe other vocalists can relate, sometimes it feels like a melody isn't enough for a song. And so I feel like I want there to be a lot of other elements to my music, but I don't know. These days I've been realizing that a song can be just about anything. Yeah.
I think music is everything. The song, we started with the hi-hats, strangely enough. I actually got those from my friend Bureaucratic, who's a producer that lives down the street. And then we started putting the chords under and getting a vibe, and then
and then
came up with the melody.
Yeah, I think we came up with the chorus first, just like I Don't Want to Fall in Love. We hadn't written anything new in a couple months. Like we graduated from Oberlin, and then Elijah moved to New York a couple months after we graduated, and we'd been writing at Oberlin, and then I had like it wasn't an awful breakup, but it was like a dramatic breakup from a long-term boyfriend, so I like came to him with all these really sad songs that are really beautiful, and they're on the EP, and I'm super excited about them, but it was a couple months after that, and I think we just like wanted to write something new with a new message, and so Elijah actually, what were you saying?
I was just saying, yeah, I think we wanted something a little bit more upbeat than the ballads.
Yeah,
we've done before.
yeah. Yeah, and I think something that was on my mind was like not wanting, I'm very good at falling in love and not wanting that to be my priority right now in my early 20s. And so that was one concept, and then Elijah kind of came up with this concept of like not wanting to waste your time. Like he was sitting there and he was like, something that's been on my mind is just this line, like, I don't really want to waste your time. So we just rolled from there. Just like sounds done to me.
I think after we did the background vocals, it really filled out the song in terms of how, like, sonically where everything was. And then Mike Nas mastered it, and he always makes everything sound way better, especially because I make everything in Ableton. I don't mix anything. I just use all the sounds straight as they are. So he like really brought it up to the next level, and like the vocals and drums just hit so much better after his mix. I think it was like a lot more clear.
Yeah, and that process was also really cool because Mike is kind of a new person in my life, but I feel like we understand each other really well. And so we like sent mixes back and forth. Like he sent me like 5 mixes, which is like kind of extra, but it was good. And I think it sounded like exactly the way that I wanted it to sound, which is really cool. And it still felt like a collaboration, you know? And I think that's unique, being able to like hear yourself and also somebody else in a song. But in terms of just the song being over, like for at least for the melody for me, it's a really short song. Like it's like less than 3 minutes, which isn't normal for me, I guess. But it just felt like there was nothing more to say. It was kind of like a chill vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 4-chord song.
Yeah, yeah. And also people have been listening and saying that I guess it's like poppy, like a little bit more poppy than most of the stuff that I do, which I feel like is fun. So hopefully it's a bop. It comes out on 2/25. Okay, I'll say a couple of things, depending on when you guys put this out. So we're playing at Bowery Electric on the 19th, and then I have an EP release party on the 22nd, and then the EP comes out on my 24th birthday on the 25th of February, which is really exciting for me because it's like my first big project. And also, my grandfather passed away last year, and we have the same birthday. So the EP is called V, which his name is Victor, and I have his middle name, and it's dedicated to him. So yeah, I'm just really excited to be doing what I love, and hopefully my grandpa's watching me from above, and happy that I'm doing what I'm doing.
I love finding old coins and collecting that. So I got a lot of other passions, collecting Old Spice deodorant, cooking potatoes. There's a lot of side projects in the works. So yeah, those will be coming out soon.
I'm not as good at cooking potatoes, but I don't know. I used to be a competitive chess player. That was like a thing that I did for 13 years of my life, and I thought I was going to be a chess player.
She was the chess champion of New York for age 12.
Yeah. I used to like represent New York State and like go to like national competitions, and then I would travel the world and play chess. So, which was awesome, and I was so in love with it. And then I got to college and I was like, you know what? I'm not really into this anymore. And I don't think that'll happen to me with music because I've loved it my whole life, and it's, I think, a passion in a different way than chess was. But I expect that I don't know. I think I'm a little bit of an intense person, so I don't know what my next passion is going to be. But I feel like whatever it is, I'm going to really do it. So look out. Yeah.
But I feel like you've been approaching music like chess, and it's been working out really well.
Yeah, I think
Kinda
so.
kidding, but maybe.
I think it's like, I don't know, I think it's, chess actually teaches you a lot about social skills, ironically, and like working with other people, and it's like a very psychological game. You're forced to talk to people from like all different kinds of walks of life, because the person sitting across from you could be like an 80-year-old man from Belgium, or like a 7-year-old kid from Utah. So it was cool in that way, like helping me with my social skills and, I don't know, my collaboration abilities and my like teamwork and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, I have like a really nice community in music in the same way that I did in chess, and a lot of people to look up to and a lot of people to learn from. So I think in that way, yeah. Hopefully, maybe I'll be the music champion of New York City.
Make more music, and go see. Well, it sounds super vague, but yeah, just travel around making music. That's my goal.
Yeah, I want to perform in more places, and also I'm learning to play guitar and piano right now, very slowly, but it's happening. And I think my goal for 2019, early 2019, is to be able to just like play sets confidently entirely by myself, which is not what I like to do, because I love like vibing with people on stage and like bringing my friends in who are incredibly talented, but I think it'd be nice to be able to do that. And I just set up my studio in my room. It's like officially set up, so producing is definitely in the works for 2019, and working with more women and like learning from other women is a really big part of that for me. Being happy with my own work is a big thing, like being happy with the work that I put out and feeling like it's representative of me. But also, like, I think money is a big part of success, which is not to say that it's what fuels my self-worth in any way. But I definitely think that making music your career is different than making music your passion. Like, if you've chosen to make it your career, I think that money plays a part in it in a way that it doesn't necessarily if you're just doing it because you love it. And those things definitely, like, intertwine. But my goal in my life, my music career life, is to have enough, to have enough influence and or money to be able to like be on a cultural board of like the Met or any other like musical cultural institution and staple in New York. And then also I'm from the projects on the Lower East Side, and those are all being privatized. So another big goal of mine is to like buy back some of that real estate, and then just like make it actually affordable, and hopefully like artist housing or like have some sort of artist residency. So all of that does require money and like power, I guess. That's a weird word. But yeah, I have, if not with music, I'll find another way to do it, and music will just continue to be my passion and the thing that I do.
Yeah, I think success for me would be just happiness and progress. I think money might probably be more of a byproduct of that. I don't think that's necessarily an indicator of success, but I think, yeah, being able to do what you love for your job is a small success, and then maybe just expanding on that would be great.
Yeah, I definitely feel successful being able to be a musician and not having to worry about, like, am I going to be able to pay my rent or anything like that. I think New York is really unique in the way that you can gig around and support yourself and teach lessons and, like, really make music your whole life.
Be yourself and stay humble. Surround yourself with people that keep you inspired and make you want to get better. Build a community, because it's a lot harder to do stuff by yourself. And yeah, just keep. If you're making progress, that's great.
Yeah. I think just do what you love and follow your dreams. That's like so corny, but being happy is something that everybody deserves. And I think I definitely feel like it's a privilege to be able to do what I love as my career. But in any way that you're fulfilled, just keep on doing that, and like do it for real. Like do it when it's hard and when you don't want to, because ultimately I think you're gonna be a lot happier doing what you love. Shout out to Candid Music Group. Yeah.
Shout out to Candid. That's where we recorded this song.
Yeah. Gabe Simon, who helped produce the EP.
Yep.
Trying to think about other people.
Was our other roommate, was around and worked on some of the mixing.
Yeah.
Some of the songs.
Akinyemi featuring on my first single, which was awesome. Yeah, Elijah Fox over here, producer and pianist extraordinaire. Yeah, check us out on social media.
You don't have to.
Yeah, but listen to the EP. I think it's cool. I think it's really, I don't know, I think it's really unique.
And shout out to Untitled.